So what I didn't show you guys, because there was no good way to film it, because I couldn't really see much of it anyway, is I pulled off the intercooler off of the X3, which is obviously back there, last night, and the intercooler was just packed with mud and dirt and sand and everything else. I put it in my cooler here because it was the only thing I had that was big enough to really do anything with it. It has been soaking all night to try and loosen up that mud. I sprayed it with some tough stuff like carpet cleaner, engine degreaser. There's some like Dawn dish soap in here just to try and break it up, get that cleaned up, because essentially what you're doing is you're losing performance, losing the cooling effect of your intercooler, as redundant as that sounds, because you're not moving air over the fins or through the fins. You're not moving air through the fins to cool down your charge temperature, so your intercooler essentially becomes worthless. When I'm holding it up and kind of rocking it back and forth like that, I'm looking through it and finding a light source in behind it, and as I'm rocking it, if anything stops me being able to see through it, which I'm just looking off in the woods and like lighted trees, and for me it takes 2 passes. I can see about half the intercooler and then the bottom half, but I'm making sure there's nothing blocking it, and I can see all the way to the ends, and it's good. So yeah, this one was definitely stopped up. I don't even want to guess how much dirt and mud and how much performance was being lost. So I know right now it's really hard to see in here, and I don't have a good way of filming it, especially because I'm here by myself. But the next step is going to be to replace plugs and injectors. So the stock injectors are not quite big enough to handle an E85 tune with the power level that I'm going at, so they have to come out. They come out on, there's a fuel rail right here, and that comes out with a couple Torx bits, and that whole rail will just pop up. The injector should stay captive on there. Take it out, replace the injectors on the bench, put it back in. I'll show you what I can on that. And then right here, and then straight in the rest of the way, those are the coils that sit on top of the plugs. Coils come out with a Torx bit also, and then you pull the coil up, then the plug is just a normal unscrewing of a plug. We've all seen that happen before, and that's about it. So this may be a little bit better angle at it. You can see right there on the top there are 3 coils. I'll try and point, but I can't reach. My fingers, right there's 1, 2, 3. Those have to come off. That is that fuel rail that I was talking about. That has to come out. And yeah, once my arms are in there, there's nearly 0 chance of you guys seeing it while I'm working. I don't know if this footage will be of any use at all. Trying to film from the top and show you how to take that fuel rail and the coils out. I don't know. We will see. I'm trying to come in from the side instead of going over the top with them. In doing this, I can't see where I'm going. I'm feeling. There's 1. And to get that connector off, there's a little push under here. I'm sure you can't see it. You push it down till it clicks and kind of give it a wiggle and pull. And to get that up, it's a straight pull up, but it's kind of stuck, so I'm probably going to have to grab a screwdriver here and help. So I pulled this fuel rail out, as you can see, obviously because it's not in the car anymore. These are the new injectors that Andy at Pwer Tune sent. I have not even opened them yet. These are fuel rail spacers because these are obviously, let me hold them up. Here, we'll compare on this end. So it'll seat up into about there. but you can tell how much longer it is because these are bigger injectors, so it has to have a fuel rail spacer that goes, that part goes under there, and then longer screws to hold it down to the engine. Just has to have it to get everything to work and still seal. So there's these little metal keepers right here. They should, in theory, kind of slide out. I'm not like some other places where I'm going to try and like pre-do it. Yeah, that's all. Just kind of give them a little pop. That little half circle, if we're going to call it that, holds it. I'm going to do one at a time, kind of give them a twist as you're pulling out. I've done injectors on other things, just not on this. She's stuck, like really well stuck. Give it a bit more twist. Yeah, that O-ring's really sticking in there pretty good. There's just no good way to grab it either. There it goes. Yeah, see it. I'll show you guys the difference in what you can see happen. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. There we go. So right in there, you can see the O-ring stayed in. Try and keep it close. That is where it came out. This is the new one, and you can see it still has the O-ring. So I'm going to take a pick I got here, pop that O-ring out because I want to replace it with the new injector. That simple, not a big deal. It was just stuck because it's been in there for essentially forever. I'm going to put it back on there just for safekeeping, although I won't be using it, so give a little shake as we go in. You'll feel when it gets seated all the way. I'm just going to do one at a time, and this clip will go back on the exact same way. That's why I'm doing one at a time. It also helps to have a reference thing. And you'll know it's seated when you can see the black plastic through the clip all the way. And it's kind of rinse and repeat for the other two, and then it'll go back in. So real quick here, I'm going to show you guys a couple things. Spark plugs I'm going back in with are the OE NGKs. Hopefully you can see that all right. That's what I went back with anyway. The top number, the LMAR number, that's what's on the plug itself. Gap can be a little bit difficult to find. It's not terrible. 0.31. So that's what I got mine at. All of mine were a bit tight straight out of the box. Not surprising considering they're slapping up and down in that box, kind of bumping on the ground strap there. Oh, piece of hose. Something like this to get them out of the hole. You just, when it's like the old one's down in the hole, just that's a 5/16 fuel line. Just take and shove it on there. And once you have it unscrewed, then you can pull it out. And same to put them back in. If your spark plug socket doesn't hold it real well, then you can just put that on there, kind of put it down the hole. So at this point, I have the spark plugs in, the new injectors are in. Everything should be pretty well set. Intercooler, ready to go back in. I put my fan back on. I didn't talk about it, but I had taken my fan off. It's just 4 T25s. Off of my intercooler because I really didn't want the intercooler just sitting in a bucket, or the intercooler. I didn't want my fan sitting in a bucket or the cooler full of water and solvent all night. I don't think it'd be a problem. They should be fine, but no sense in having the extra chance of something going wrong. The other thing I have to do that really it's not worth showing is I have to wire the fan. I don't have to. Andy at Pwer Tune, because of the level of tune I'm going to, requested that I wire the fan to be on all the time, or at least on a switch where I can turn it on when I'm in there. What I'm going to do is put it on a switch, to be only able to come on when the ignitions come on. I'm going to do that with a relay, waterproof relay, and the X3s have that bus bar right there in the middle. So I'm going to go from there. When the ignition comes on, it'll trigger that the switch can be used, and I'll probably just leave that switch on most all the time. I am still waiting on my muffler. I don't know what happened. Apparently COVID just hit the muffler industry really hard, because I have had a muffler on order for 3 weeks now. And it's not even like a UTV specific muffler. It is just a muffler that they show they have in stock from a major company, Flowmaster, and I couldn't get it in. They kept saying, oh, it'll be delivered, you know, in 2 days, it's already shipped. Here's the number and blah, 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 but it never apparently got shipped because they kept pushing it out a week then. And finally I was like, forget it. I'm not going to go through them. I'll go through somebody else who shows that they have it in stock, because I'm no further out at this date. Next steps. I have the reflashed factory ECU. It'll just go in there. It's 2 plugs and a couple bolts. It goes in behind the driver's seat. The driver's seat's already out, so it's super simple. I finally got a muffler in. It's not a very big one, as you can tell by my hand sitting on it when it covers most of it, but it's better than straight piped. That is the exhaust part. It was cut off before I got to it. It goes to the, what I call the lead donut gasket that's on the header pipe. Because the size of what was available and time, I had to cut a bunch of, I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but there's a bunch of pie cuts in there to basically make it neck down to the size of that so I can weld it in. It is less than ideal, suboptimal, and kind of hacky, but it's what we're doing for this thing, because right now I got no other choice, and I'm super busy. It's been a long day at work, and we're trying to get this thing done because it's been apart for several weeks now and I haven't been able to use it. It's kind of smoky in here, been welding, such is life. This is, I was telling you guys, I was welding up. You can see it's not the best welding. I didn't even pretend to try and do really great. A, this hides up in behind it. B, it's a race car. C, you get the point. Stainless steel tip on the end. It's 3-inch. I just took and cut a U-bend in half so I could weld it up there. I'll try and find it. There, see the welds. They're not bad. Slightly undercut on that, but it was a little larger than it was there. You know, it is what it is. I'm not going for a show car here. Focus camera. The reality is I'm doing a race car and I'm just trying to get it quieter. So Flowmaster 10 series is what this is. Believe it or not, this snakes in between the bumpers so I can get it in and out without taking anything else apart but the springs. Here in a second I'll get it bolted up. Then I already put the ECU back in it, so that's ready. There's really nothing to show there. It's literally put 2 plugs on it, snap them over just to lock them down, and 2 Torx. I think they're T25s. Like, it's simple. It can't get any more simple. The only thing I think I have left to do is the crack pressure and put on the wastegate and the new wastegate and adjust the crack pressure, and that should be it. I got the exhaust on. I figured I'd show you guys. Yes, my phone dings a lot. Yes, it sticks out slightly past the bumper. Hopefully it doesn't get tore up. It is a little right now on the, it's not bad, it's a little on the wiggly side because it's mounted down here in rubber, and that's the only mount. I think I'm going to put one more mount up in over here to kind of take that wiggle out. It's not a problem. I don't think it'll be an issue, but I want to get it knocked out. So the next step's going to be to replace this wastegate right here. you probably can't see it from that angle. There's like literally no way I can get the camera in a good position to see everything. There's a small clip here. All it really takes is pulling out on the top and sliding it up to pop that clip off, which removes this part of the arm from the turbo arm. Then there's 2 8s here that hold the wastegate to the wastegate bracket. There is a line here, and I believe that's it. I have the other one right here, and it's already hooked up to the Mighty Vac to set the crack pressure. I have not set the crack pressure, but this is what's going there. It's pretty simple. You screw this end onto there. Okay, hopefully you guys can see some of this and you can hear me. I don't know. The new wastegate is in, the end is on, no slack. I'm going to pump the Mighty Vac until I see the rod just barely move. I'll confirm it a couple times. My tune, the one that I have, it's supposed to be, the crack pressure is supposed to be 10, so I want it to move at 10. That moved at about 7 or 8. So what that means is I need to take this off, spin it in a little bit. A lot of people want to put that clip on. As long as it doesn't fall off, it doesn't matter. So low, I want to double check it. You guys, I don't know if you can see this. Try and move it to where you can. Just moved. Yeah, it's about 9. One more full rotation, see what that gives us. I know it's tempting to just, turn it in more because that means more boost and better. No, it's not. It's not what the tune's set for. So there's 8. Just moved. Might be slightly over. I might need to go back half a turn. It's like 10.2. This jam nut, run down, put a wrench on it, just jam it into this, put the clip on, and put this vacuum line on it. We're gonna head out back here. Okay, first impressions, it's crazy fast. It's fun. It is definitely faster than my Razor was now, no question about that. It is to the point where you could overdrive it very quickly if you didn't know exactly how much power, or you weren't confident in what the machine would do, which I am not with this. That is literally I've driven it on my track around, no, I haven't even driven it on my own short course. I take that back. I drove it at that short course race, brought it back, and started tearing it down. So I literally have like one other drive in it, and I drove it across the yard in low even. So that is the second time I've driven it, so I am by no means at all like comfortable with this machine. Plus I was driving it one-handed while holding a phone. It's probably not the best idea. When you're just driving around normal, it is very streetable. It would be the best term I mean, it's very, not tame. It doesn't feel tame per se, but it does. Okay guys, it's the next day. I didn't get a chance to shoot what I wanted to last night. Just as I've said many times, life gets in the way. It's crazy how that happens, huh? So this machine's pretty well wrapped up. You may or may not be able to see it. I don't have a passenger seat in it. I just left that out so I could wire the intercooler's fan to be on with the switch. The switch is on its way. It might be here in the next day or so. But I still got to feel what the full performance is. Basically, if I just run it for a long period of time, the intercooler would get a little heat soaked, and that's how it would be. It might lose a little bit of power, but for the bit that I ran it, man, absolutely amazing. I cannot say it enough. I sent Andy an email today and just said, like, awesome doesn't even come close to covering what this machine feels like now. Before it was okay, don't get me wrong. It was not all that fast. Now it is crazy fast. I've ridden in a couple 2020 cars that started out at 195 horse, and they've had Evo and Whelen tunes on them. Both of them different cars. One had Evo, one has Whelen. Both big power cars. This thing is as fast or faster. It's tough to tell because I wasn't driving, but crazy fast car now. And relatively easy. I mean, I said it a little while ago, if it makes it in the video, but I know it's, with me doing it, it's been several days. I've been busy and just have not had the time to develop, or to devote to do it. So really a majority of my time is spent building the exhaust, which you guys wouldn't even have to do if you just buy an exhaust, or you do want a little bit freer flowing exhaust. I just didn't want a straight pipe, which is sitting up on my shelf. Really, you could do this in like a long afternoon, 3 or 4 hours. You would be done. That includes like draining the tank and changing out the pump and everything, which a lot of you guys won't even have to do because this is a 17 car, and to run the E85, it just didn't quite have enough fuel pressure and volume moving to do it. So really, you could cut it down, and it's a pretty easy afternoon job. I cannot say enough. I mean, I know I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. It really woke the car up. It took it from, hey, it's a fun car, it's still a fast car, to the thing's a screamer at this point. So I'm really thrilled. Definitely get a hold of Andy over at Pwer Tunes if you guys are looking for something. It is super simple. If you can mail in your ECU, or you can go with the DynoJet Power Vision 3 like what I have in this one. It's just plug and play. I mean, it's dead simple, super easy. Definitely get with him. Man, I can't say enough how thrilled I am with what it did to the car. So all of Andy's information will be down in the description section below of this video. Also, we'll put it up on the screen here. And don't forget, if you guys want to see more stuff like this, definitely like, subscribe, comment, share this video with everybody else, because if you do that, we get more noticed, we get more people who want to jump on board with us and will help support us, so that I'm not having to buy everything out of pocket for all of this, because as you guys know, it's expensive to start modding UTVs. But yeah, get with Andy. Great guy, easy to work with, like super quick responsive on emails. I think that's the best way to get a hold of him, is what he's saying, is just email him. Phone can be difficult, I get it. He's at all the major West Coast events, I know that. He goes out there to the big events and he hits those, and he's putting down big numbers, and just great product, great price, great everything. So get a hold of Andy at Pwer Tune. You know, 2 thumbs up, can't be any better.